Hello, this is Clock02 again. After last week's review, this week's I'm going to do something a bit more, a film of a different kind of genre, I guess. So today, we'll be reviewing Lucy. Okay, so basically, Lucy is about a character gaining the capability of exploring more capacity in her brain that allows her to do amazing feat. This is kind of a concept that I find very interesting, as the human brain has been rumored hypothesized that an average human uses less than 20% or 15%, depends on what kind of report you're reading. A human only uses a certain percentage of the brain capacity in order to achieve what we have right now in modern society. So it is also rumored that Albert Einstein is a person who can utilize, I think, 20 or 25% of his brain. I'm not so sure, I can't remember the actual report. But I think it was a very interesting concept. But how did this concept actually works for this film? It depends on you. Okay, so before I tackle on to the issues, let us talk about something else first. Okay, so we have this character, Lucy, who is a very normal college student in Taiwan. Amazing how she can't speak Mandarin after studying in Taiwan for who knows how long it might be, maybe a few months, maybe a year or two. She can't speak Mandarin despite she's studying in Taiwan. I had no idea why. Got involved in a crime syndicate. Okay, I'm not going to review too much of the story to you guys. So basically, her involvement actually triggers an issue that allows her to uses more of her brain capacity to more than 20%, 40%, and even to 100%. So basically, we had three main characters: Lucy, Professor Norman, and Mr. Zhang. Okay, these three characters are the key factors, the key characters that brings out the issues in the film, which is to explore the human brain to 100%. So, well, that's actually is quite a bad thing for this film. The characters are not fully utilized. The actors or actress were not fully utilized to bring out the character. I mean, Morgan Freeman plays as Dr. Norman, and I felt that despite how important he is in the film, in the character, and I don't think he's significant enough to be in the story. I mean, he can be played by anyone else, not Morgan Freeman, but Morgan Freeman definitely acts as a sales factor for people to go watch this film. Scarlett Johansson, we know that she plays the character Lucy, and you see an interesting character in Lucy early in the film. She expressed a lot of emotions that actually shows that she is a normal human, a normal young girl. I don't know how old she is in the film, but she pulled it off very nicely. But as the film progresses, she slowly loses the charm or the humanity in the character, and it sort of becomes like, well, it doesn't have to be Scarlett Johansson to play this character again, other than the sex appeal. It can be played by anyone else. So that's the character. And the other one, Mr. Zhang, basically he's the villain in this movie, and I seriously don't really feel anything for him. I mean, other than being a clear-cut villain for everyone else to see, and you don't feel for him. You don't know his motivation of doing certain things in the film. You only know that he's trying to do get the drugs in or something like that. But other than that, nothing else. So actually, the three main characters actually doesn't work in a movie. you know that something is not right, something is not going to work out fine. And basically that's that for the characters. The cinematography was okay, again, okay. It's not bad, but it's not good at the same time. So it's very bland, there's nothing really stands out. But then again, the cinematography, I don't feel is very good in this movie. Definitely can be better, but depends on what kind of feel that the director wanted to direct the story towards. I kind of like the music. It actually acts as a very important factor that brings yourself, the audiences, to the story, into this world. Actually, it's one of the good example of how this whole thing, music, blends into the movie, into the story by itself, and create a very good character in the film. So the music actually works. And other than that, I felt that this whole movie, it had a lot of potential. It definitely had potential in it. But then again, what's wrong with it? I mean, it doesn't have a very good review. You search it out online, you go to IMDb, go to any forum, ask your friends. Actually, this movie doesn't really get a lot of good review from them. Actually, I was in a cinema, and after the movie is finished, everyone was like, oh, what did I just watch? I don't understand at all. What are all the scientific theory that has been going on throughout the movie, and they didn't explain anything. Actually, that's the problem, I think, that they spend so much time talking about the scientific theory or hypothesized theory into the movie, and it turns out something very difficult for normal audiences to understand. I mean, how many of you guys out there actually understand the concept of quantum physics, neurology, brain capacity, electrical magnetic pulse, and several other things? I mean, it's something that normal audiences don't really know. I mean, I'm not a scientist, but I'm quite intrigued by myself. I'm not one of the audiences that don't get the concept, but I'm one of the audiences that actually find it quite interesting. Then again, it also becomes a problem because not many of the audiences actually understand or know about the concept of certain theories that was put into this film, which turns out many people don't understand it. I mean, it's not an art film. It's not an art film. So it doesn't really turns out very good by itself. But I like the concept. The concept is just brilliant. I mean, look at it. I mean, you look at so many films talking about scientific theory such as quantum physics and human brain capacity, and actually I think that is a very common theme in superhero movies. Look at the Hulk or Iron Man or other superhero movies. They talk about all these very scientific, it is just hypothesized scientific theories, but they blend in so well into the movie, into the story, create a back story of the characters by itself even. So it kind of works by itself for superheroes movie, but in Lucy it doesn't quite work. I heard that there are some comedic moments in this film, but I really don't get it. I mean, like, it's not supposed to be funny, or maybe it is supposed to be funny, but I just don't catch the comedic effect that it has. It just doesn't really come up as prominent as other comedy films that you watched in the cinema. So to make things easy, actually, other than the potential that it has by itself, it was ruined by the characters. I mean, if you messed up all the side characters, all the supporting characters, it doesn't really matter. But then again, if you mess up almost pretty much every main character, the protagonist, the supporting character for the protagonist, and the antagonist, it pretty much means that you don't really have a very good story. I mean, all characters support the story to bring out the plot to the audiences. That is one of the most important thing in a film. I mean, really, do you really have to mess up the three main characters? I really don't think so. But then again, if you look at the director, I'm not so sure whether I pronounce it correctly. Luke Besson, he doesn't really make Lucy into a very good movie. It was ruined by the character, and I really felt that the character can really bring out all the potential that this film has into the next level. The music was good, and anyway, so that's one thing you can really pay attention to it. I give it 2 out of 5. You can watch it once in a while, but I tell you, it's very forgettable. The characters are so forgettable, and it's even more unforgivable that it's the three main characters that are forgettable. Other than that, the scientific theory, the potential, the music were very well done. They really had it there, but I felt that if another director were to direct this thing, and it might just turns out to be nice. Anyway, so that's the review for Lucy. If you have any film that you want me to review, and you want the viewpoints from an Asian perspective, drop it in the comment section below. Tell me, I'll look at it, and I'll tell you how I think about this whole film. So, peace.